I hate these stories. I love these. I love getting angry about them, but they're so frustrating. We have a great work reform story. Jerk billionaire says, "Fudge you to all the workers." That's my PG intro. He's not really a billionaire. He's a half a billionaire because he's lazy and eats too much avocado toast. But let's get into it. Today, we're going to find out who can get pissed off the fastest on today's work reform story.
I am not actually that pissed off. Really? I think overall this is a heartwarming story of a millionaire. Yeah, a millionaire egomaniac who very quickly got his comeuppance because he's just a massive cock.
Got his comeuppance. All right, we'll get to his comeuppance, but I bet he's still asshole billionaire.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, he does have nearly $500 million worth of.
Okay, so the story is from The Independent. Millionaire CEO wants unemployment to jump 50% because workers have become arrogant. This is Tim Gurner.
Oh my God, it is jumped to 50%.
Yes. Yeah. He wants.
Yeah, I missed. We were talking about this before we started, and I was saying I misunderstood him.
I thought it was by 50% also.
By 50%, right? So that would just be like another bump.
Oh my God.
Go from 3 to 6. But he's literally saying 50% of the world's workforce is to not have a job anymore.
Well, he's Australia. He's talking about Australia in the interview. But basically the story is that he was saying, these snowflakes these days, they just don't want to work. It started with the pandemic, and people were working at home. Their production fell, and then after the pandemic it just never came back because people just don't want to work these days. And I think people really, the only way to fix it is through economic pain. I think unemployment needs to rise to 50%, and people need to just realize that they are
he said we need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around.
Oh, that was classic, that line.
Actual insanity. Because there's a delicate balance between employer-employee relationships. Without your employees, you have no fucking company, right? Remember that. As an employer, you should always remember that the people who are coming in every day and making you rich are the reason for the company, that it even exists to begin with.
I don't understand what you're saying, John.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
He said the whole thing out loud. He fundamentally believes that employees have no rights.
No rights. I mean, they're just little ants, right? We're just little ants doing ant work.
So incidentally, this is the same guy who was famous for starting the whole millennials just love avocado toast meme.
Yeah.
So I was shocked to find out it was the same guy. So this guy's really
just eat less.
An all-star avocado toast. Yep. Then within 12 hours, Mr. Gurner said that he deeply regretted the comments, which sparked global backlash. The video went viral 23 million times. And so he came back and retracted it, said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I said it." And he faced all this backlash, but this is nothing. The only thing he's sorry about is that there was video of it.
Yeah.
He believes the exact same thing.
Yeah, always.
If you watch the video, he is so straightforward, clear, concise about his view, and he expounds on it as well. He goes into depth. If you didn't understand the first statement, he will go and clarify it. He goes on for quite a while to say this is his very strongly held point of view, that employees shouldn't have rights. They work for the employer. The employer is doing them a favor. Right. And they need to remember this. And the only way for people to realize this is if employment goes up to 50%. Unemployment goes up to 50%.
Well, this is how they think.
Peter and Mike, you guys, you have to remember that people don't want to work anymore. They just don't want to work anymore. They're
Well, I mean,
so lazy.
That's his point.
Well, we talked, I think it was just last week about commercial real estate. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And I talked about the guy who I was listening to on a podcast, and he kept saying, the problem is nobody wants to work in these offices. And all he was saying was people don't want to like go to an office to work. But in their minds, exactly like you said, John, they just
don't want to work. Yeah.
Like they just think everybody's lazy bums. Never mind the fact that we mentioned in the past that because of productivity gains, we really all should only be working 2 or 3 days a week anyway.
Yeah.
But they want to put all that profit in their pockets, not to benefit the people actually doing the work. And it's the same mindset that you see with inflation. Inflation is an imbalance between supply and demand. The government is too lazy to do anything about the supply side of it, so they just want to hurt people to drive down demand. You drive down demand in the economy by having more people unemployed and by having people make less money. This is your solution to inflation. Guess what? Prices aren't going up, but you still can't afford to buy anything because we're just going to make sure you don't have a job.
Prices aren't going to go back down. There's no grocery store on earth that's going to be like, actually, I think I'll charge less now. Like, no,
this is insane.
I mean, sure, you might see that from certain like big purchases, right? Like you'll see like this thing sold really badly, so I'm going to bring the price back down. But on a macroeconomic scale, that doesn't fucking happen.
No.
Once a threshold has been reached in costs of living, we don't all of a sudden downgrade in terms of, certain things. I mean, rent, sure, that will happen, but like that happens when there's major economic recessions. Like not, I don't know. Maybe the government just shouldn't have printed out a few $1 trillion.
Housing market collapse.
I'm nobody. I don't know.
I know. And in fact, even when inflation was skyrocketing, companies were raising prices who weren't even affected by any of the supply chain issues. Yeah. They just wanted more profit. So they just thought, I don't know, the market's becoming insensitive to price increases. Let's get there. It's fucking insane. Like, this is pure class warfare. People who don't recognize this, like there's people talk about when billionaires tell the middle class people to fight with the poor people, like that's exactly what's happening. Like the only thing that matters here is people who own these corporations, the ruling class, these billionaires just want to suck up all the money for themselves. They don't give a fuck about anything else.
It's such a weird thing, though, because he's got $500 million to his name, right? $500 million in the bank, and he wants more. Like,
he should be a billionaire. He must be lazy.
Do with that?
I mean, he's sitting with his Billy friends, and they're all like, "You're so poor. You're such a
what do you want?
popo."
Handouts? He should eat less avocado toast. Maybe then he'd be a billionaire.
That was one thing I wanted to go back. If you go back to the BBC article from before, so the story was that in 2017, he said that if people want to save up for a mortgage, they should stop eating avocado on toast. And they actually calculated down the bottom how many avocados on toast you'd have to eat to afford a mortgage. I think it's right at the bottom. Is it
25,000?
Yeah, 25,000. So, like, I don't know.
Wait, how many is that a day? That's like a few a day, like 20 a day that I'd have.
How dedicated are you, John?
Reality.
I mean, I am already up. I'm at 7, so I need to cut it down.
Oh.
Yeah, I like avocado on toast.
I'm a boomer. Yeah. I've never eaten an avocado in my life.
Oh, okay. Really? Yeah.
No, I eat them at Taco Bell. Obviously,
sure, yeah.
Guacamole.
But you've never avocado toast $12,
No, that's crazy. John, this was a fun image that you found, and I'd never seen this before. But this is awesome.
I saw this like a month or two ago, and it's just it's just too funny. Like, we've been saying nobody wants to work anymore, so the picture is actually cut off because we want everyone to be able to read all the various synonyms for nobody wants to work anymore. But this has been said since the 1800s. We've seen this in news articles in journalism since the 1800s. Like, that's fucking crazy. Basically, since the printing press, we have seen people being complained about by the upper class that they don't want to work anymore. It is
I can imagine like, but way back in the caveman days, there'll be like
Yeah.
the caveman leader of the village being like, "God, these new kids, God, they just don't want to hunt these days." I mean,
they just don't want to hunt
really,
anymore.
they've got their fancy
This
new sharpened
fire,
stick.
this
And
fire nonsense.
For anybody listening to the show, first of all, get with the program. We're on YouTube, for God's sake. But they're all a list of newspaper clippings. But 1894, it's becoming apparent that nobody wants to work anymore. 1905, no one wants to work for wages. 1916, the reason for food scarcity is that nobody wants to work as hard as they used to. And just on and on and on until today. And we're still hearing it. It's class warfare, pure and simple.
Decade.
And guess who's winning?
Right.
It's not the middle class. There should be no billionaires. I every day believe that more and more.
Yeah.
But it is very easy to solve that problem through a tiered tax bracket.
For sure.
It's weird. I feel like I've heard that term before. It's almost like it applies to me and you, but then it kind of tops out.
I know.
You know, it just kind of ends like weird.
It is. It's crazy.
It's so weird.
But what if I'm a billionaire someday? I don't want billionaires to have to pay more taxes. Maybe I'll be that rich someday.
Yeah. What if
so
you
I'm going to
win the
vote against
lottery?
it now, just preemptively.
Yeah. Insanity.
Yeah, this is crazy. So I'm glad we did this story today. Start the week off in a rage. God, this is so crazy. Like, it is. It's so bad. This is the third week in a row we've talked about these people just saying like, oh, nobody wants to work anymore. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, nobody wants to pay people what they're worth anymore. How about that?
True. That's so true.
Productivity has gone up so much. You're not paying for 40 hours of my time. You're paying for 15 hours of my time. So fucking pay me and leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. No,
I like Angry Mike.
I love work reform. Mike gets hot when we're talking about this kind of stuff.
He does. Oh man.
The funniest thing is that we have created for ourselves such a delicate balance that when wages increase, there's no price control. So prices increase. Inflation, but like this is a huge downside. I'm going to be called a socialist for this. This is a huge downside to capitalism and a free market.
It's
basically
almost like only one group of people wins.
Yeah. And the sad part is that if you look at historically, if you look at the different political systems, right? So we got democracy and communism and socialism and socialist democratics. There's so many different types of political systems that at the end of the day, the same class benefits across all of them, right? Communism failed because we're greedy. Yeah, we're just greedy. So as soon as someone is voted into power, boom, they get to be one of the rich oligarch, like, in the inside group, and on the fucking people suffer. You look at a socialist state, right? The same thing happens. Sure, they might be taxed at 50%. They're still walking away with billions. And then, of course, in a capitalist democracy, you're seeing the same exact thing. No one benefits besides the upper class. So how do you solve that problem? Like,
John,
you really, sorry.
What you've forgotten about is the libertarians.
Oh,
they've got it all figured out.
They got to figure it out.
The free market will decide. If only the government would get out of the way, then everything could be utopia.
Yeah. Stop bothering me. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun. Like and subscribe to the show. We'll see everyone tomorrow, I guess.